It will consume you. Mortal-kombat-deception.
All right, I don't even think I need to introduce him because he's Ed Boon. Everybody knows. Do people stop you in the street?
You know, somebody actually stopped me in the airport on the way here.
No way.
Yeah, 2 days ago. It was fun.
What did they say?
He said, "Aren't you Ed Boon?" or something like that. And I used to play your game since I was in grade school, which kind of made me feel a little old and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, well, you've been doing this for what, like 12 years? This game?
Mortal Kombat's been, it was 92, 12 years ago when it first came out. So
wow,
yeah,
I remember that, like being in the arcade, and you know, I'm not going to give away my age, but I remember it.
I guess saying like, you know, in the arcade kind of dates it right there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a few years old.
Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about Deception. I mean, it's not just a fighting game.
Yeah. We really wanted to kind of do the unexpected with this game. You know, say, you know, everybody's going, okay, they're going to do another thing with the fighting game, add, you know, nuances to the fighting engine, and then we said, okay, well, let's, you know, throw everybody a loop and say, you know, let's do a board game, a puzzle game, an adventure game, and put it all online, and make it available for both systems online. You know, all in one shot. You know, everybody, when we first started the game, everybody's kind of like, you know, isn't that a lot to do in one version of the game? Is, you know, we're on Mortal Kombat 6 in a sense, so we really wanted to do something that would kind of
like how much of the changes was just out of you needing to feel like you were doing something that was a little bit different? Because I mean, you could just have done another fighting game.
Exactly, and we were pretty, you know, a lot of people on the team were kind of like, you know, shouldn't we save some of this stuff for the next game and kind of go like that? But I was like, you know, we started early. We already had an engine from the Deadly Alliance, and so we spent 80-90% of our time just doing content. And that, I think it really shows. Everybody's really, when you first play the game, you're like, how much crap they piled into this game, you know? So it's a very, I think a lot of people, you know, a lot of people are into the puzzle game, a lot of people get into the board game.
Yeah, we have to talk about the board game because it's insanely cool. Like, not even just to play, but I mean, there's like a crowd of 15 people in there.
It's fun to watch too.
Just really getting into it, you know?
Yeah, you know, when I was a kid, I used to play this game called Archon by Electronic Arts, and I thought it was just the coolest game in the world. And I played a lot of Stratego, and you know, I knew how to play chess and all that stuff. So we just kind of like just combined all those games together, made this hybrid thing, and threw in the Mortal Kombat Fatality thing and all that stuff, and then it just became, you know, what Mortal Kombat chess is.
Well, it's just funny because it is a strategic game, but at the same time, most people are in there just trying to line up so that they can fight. You know?
Exactly.
So it's
exactly.
Like, are you really trying to win the game, or you just want to?
Yeah, it's kind of like a higher level game. If you don't want to just play match after match after match, you want to have a higher level strategy. The board game comes into play, and when you really get into it, you realize you could set bombs and traps, and there are different, you know, characters and different strengths, and the pieces are all different. There is a lot of strategy involved with it, and you know, I can't wait to see people playing online against each other. That's going to be the most fun.
That's huge. I mean, that's genius.
Yeah.
I think even for the average person who just pick it up, and that's exactly what they'd want to do.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And if they don't want to get into like the hardcore fighting.
Yeah. So I'm, you know, like I said, we had all of these guys working on the different components individually, and then when we put it all together, everybody kind of stood back and goes, wow, you got a lot of stuff in this game. So
yeah, well, that's just one part of it. And then you have the puzzle game, which is hilarious. I love the little...
Yeah. Well, again, you know, we were all big fans of Tetris and Puzzle Fighter and Bubble Bobble and all that stuff like that. And he said, oh, let's make an M-rated puzzle game. It'd be funny to have people doing fatalities and this really cute, you know, deformed characters and stuff like that. Everybody gets a kick out of that.
There's some pretty seriously vicious fatalities. And do you just sit around all day and just come up with ways to kill people?
You know what? Everybody asks me that, and it's 30 people thinking of ways to kill people. So I can't take a lot of the fatalities in the game. You know, other guys.
You seem like you're too nice of a guy to be able to come up with.
Yeah, I'm way too nice. I just you know, I'm the one who says no, that's just too gross. That's too gross. We can't do that in the game and stuff like that. So it's pretty. When you have 30 people on a team and they're all coming up with ideas, it's really a matter of discarding the ones that are just kind of too gross.
Do you find it weird that it used to be like way back when Mortal Kombat came out and it was like everybody was up in arms about the gore factor and the violence factor, and now it's just sort of...
Yeah, I think
that's moved on?
Yeah, when Mortal Kombat came out, there was no rating system. There was no, M-rated game. There was stuff like that. And once that was established, everything kind of simmered down. And since then, there have been games that have long since surpassed Mortal Kombat in terms of the shock value and all that stuff. But it's still kind of a hot issue for some people. But we're just kind of more on the sidelines now.
Why do you think this game has had such a huge fan following? People are so into it. There's huge websites dedicated to it.
Yeah, I think it was a combination of the fact that at the time when we came out, we were the first digitized fighting game. Everything looked realistic, and all of a sudden we had blood in the game, and people were like, "Are you allowed to do that? Are you allowed to do something?" And so we had the shock value that got people's attention, and then there was a really fun play mechanic on top of there. And then there was everybody's parents saying, "Don't play this game."
Right.
And so,
that just adds to wanting
you combine
to play
those three together, and then people are just, it just became something that, I think a lot of people remember where they were when they first played Mortal Kombat or saw it, or skipping school to play it, or something like that.
And then there was the movie.
Yeah. There was the movie was the second biggest August opening in history.
I saw it in the theater, and I so wanted to be Sonya Blade.
Yeah.
It was awesome. So let's talk a little bit about some of the characters that are in Deception. Obviously, kind of true to the fans and have some of old favorites.
Yeah, that's exactly. We've had so many Mortal Kombat games.
How many characters total have
I
there
think
ever been?
there's well over 50 characters that we've had, and every time we exclude somebody, we have people writing in saying, "Oh, you should have had Baraka in the game. You should have had Nightwolf in the game." And so for this one, we had a goal. Let's just be the nostalgic cast. So Baraka, Melina, Nightwolf, Cabal, all these kind of MK2 and 3 favorites. We said let's make them have a big comeback, and we introduced about 8 new characters, but it's really it's all about the returning favorites and stuff, and the response has been really good because everybody has their warm fuzzy feelings when they first play Baraka. So.
But you also must have some of those hardcore fans that get really upset because of the storyline getting disturbed, and you can't have Sub-Zero come back, and you can't.
You wouldn't believe it. I mean, it's like every chapter that we write of the story, somebody had a different view of the direction it should have gone, and then they say, you shouldn't have killed Liu Kang off. You should have done this, and then so it's kind of like a.
And then if you bring him back,
exactly. In some ways, you can't win, but it's nice that people are passionate enough about it that they actually write to you and tell you about it.
Well, that's interesting too, because you have the story mode now, so you're sort of giving, instead of most of the story you ever get out of a fighting game comes from reading a screen.
Exactly. Yeah. This was the first Mortal Kombat game where we were really able to tell a detailed story, because, like you said, when you're just playing the arcade game or you're just fighting people, there's not many opportunities for us to tell a deep story, and so the conquest mode is easily the best opportunity we've had to kind of elaborate on the whole backstory of Mortal Kombat.
Was it strange to try and incorporate sort of standard arena style fighting into a 3D sort of adventuring conquest game?
Yeah, you know what, we purposely kept them separate.
Right.
So we said you're going to run around, you'll encounter somebody, and then when you fight them, it's the mechanic it's Mortal Kombat style, it's punching, kicking, all that stuff like that. And then you're back to the exploring conquest mode. So keeping them separate, I think, was helped people, it wasn't something that was so unfamiliar to them. We didn't make them learn a new mechanic and everything like that.
Yeah.
But we gave them the freedom to kind of roam around and explore.
So what do you think is your favorite part in it, in the whole sort of
my favorite part is it's weird. My favorite part is the fact that we did it all in one step. The fact that we did all this stuff and we have it online. There's nothing, to me, it's a riot just to go online and play somebody you've never played before, and you
just
have
like
them
in the
on
old
the
days.
headset. Yeah, exactly. there was something about playing a stranger and seeing how well your skills kind of compared against them. That was a riot. I think that's why arcades were so big back then, and all that stuff together at the same time is what I'm most excited about.
But what do you play?
I play
And who do
Scorpion.
you play?
I play Scorpion in the fighting game. I play Ermac in the puzzle game, and I'm really bad at the board game. I can beat all the
Really?
yeah, I'm really bad at the board game. Yeah, I have to play it some more and get. But I love playing it, but I always get my butt kicked in the board game.
Yeah, well, it's easy to do. Some of those guys are.
Yeah, it's
so good at
ridiculous.
it.
Yeah, our testers at work it's just embarrassing playing against them. So.
Yeah, well, it's good that it has the depth there, though.
Yeah, we're really excited about that.
And how many times do people come up to you and tell you that combat's spelled wrong?
They actually, they tell us more is they say you spelled the word, if you spell the word can, C-A-N, they say you spelled it wrong. It's K-A-N or something like that. So we're slowly getting everybody to start
Yeah, they're
using
starting
K
to accept
more
that
often. Yeah.
it's probably going to be in the dictionary at some point, also known
I hope
as
so. I hope combat's
combat
in the
with a
dictionary
K.
someday.
Awesome.
The game's going to be available October
yes,
4th.
October
We're
4th.
pretty excited about that.
And the special edition.
Oh, right. There's going to be a, I think there's like 4 Xbox special editions and 1 PlayStation 2, and it's a second disc.
Right.
It has a fully playable version of Mortal Kombat 1, which is very cool for the whole nostalgia. And it has a whole bunch of movies of what we call video trading cards, where we have people talking about their favorite character, and you see them kind of evolve from MK1 to
cool.
Deception. And like I said, there's 50 characters, so we already went through 25 of them with the video cards.
What about Toasty?
He actually doesn't have a presence in this game, which is like the one thing that I wish we could have had time to do.
I guess you got to leave something for the next one.
Yep. Yeah. MK7 for sure.
Awesome. Can't wait to pick it up.
Okay, great.
Thanks.